Welcome to Forever Exiled. I'm Justin, aka Tags.
You interrupted me. I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
And this is episode 179 of Forever Exiled.
It's pretty special.
It is pretty special.
That's a pretty special feeling, Lloyd.
Big gulps, eh? All right. Big shout out to our Patreons. Thanks for the resubs this week that joined back in, and a couple donations from Vowels and Theta. Thank you guys so much. Patreon gets you access to After Dark, which is our podcast after the podcast. Coolest thing in the world. It's the funnest.
You're really making up for last week, aren't
tubular.
you?
Well,
tubular.
I think I told you, maybe it was in After Dark last week, that when I listened back and edited, I thought I was amped up, but I was amped up for the Welcome to Forever Exiled, and then I did definitely dip for the episode 178,
yeah.
which I did.
Yeah,
I was trying to
turn into an Eeyore.
Well, it wasn't quite Eeyore. Calm down.
It was pretty close.
Not really. Maybe itty bit.
My tail.
But anyway, here we are, 179. Yeah, thank you, patrons. You guys are awesome. And if you haven't checked out our Patreon, you should, because After Dark it's a bowl of fun. Plus, you get
big bowl,
a card and a sticker. So, thumbs up. Anyway, thanks everybody, and for the donations too. That was really cool. How's your week, bud? Is it Canadian to say bud? Sometimes I feel like that's a bud.
I think so. Yeah. Thing? Do you call your kids buddy? Do you like call your sons buddy or anything like that? I've heard a lot of parents where we come from.
Maybe bud,
right? And that's weird to me. Now, when I say it, totally not weird. When I hear other people say it, totally weird. But yeah, I think it is a very Canadian thing to say. Hey, bud, how's it going? Thanks, buddy. Oh, way to go, buddy.
What's a non-Canadian thing? What do they say? Like, hey, friend?
No, they just say, I don't know. There's 1,000 things you could say. Like if you're talking to your kids, thanks, son. Thanks,
no,
daughter.
but like friends. What is the thing? If you're saying bud, what are you saying?
Well, to you, douchebag.
Hey, you scallywag. Like what? I don't get it.
Arr.
What is it? I don't know. Tell us what it is, because I'm curious. I feel like bud should be just a worldwide thing, but
probably gangster.
All right.
Damn, that feels good to be a gangster.
How was your week, gangster? Or do you have to say gangsta?
That's probably racist.
Gangsta?
Yeah, probably.
I don't think so. How was your week?
Good. We finally, thanks. Not bud. We had some nice weather. I mean, it's still a little cold at night, but it's safe enough to start planting some seeds. So, my wife is gone. She's working this week in Montreal.
She's probably loving that, eh?
Yeah. She's coming back tomorrow or today. And so it was weird. We're a single car family, and it was weird having the car all week.
So many things to do.
It is, because my task list revolves around the fact that I'm not going to be going anywhere. And so the things that require me to go out and about, that's a pretty Canadian thing, out and about. That kind of piles up, and you just do what you can on the weekends whenever it shows up. But all of a sudden I have the car, and I'm like, I'm not used to this. I was planning on painting when my wife was gone, finishing up the paint. Like when we started painting we wrecked our basement in the floods a year and a half ago now. And we just were able to start painting and getting everything fixed last November. And we did what we could to host people for Christmas time. But we kind of burnt out from that, and whatever, like post Christmas, things just normal life started keeping going, and we just didn't get around to finishing off all the painting. And now her parents, who were our guests at Christmas time, are probably coming back for Violet's birthday in a week. And we're like, okay, that would be really pathetic. We didn't finish painting, and it's been like 3 months. So now we really need to paint. And I was really hoping to paint all this week, but the prospect of having the car was just too much. And so I did a whole bunch of stuff for like gardening, and I went around and I did a whole bunch of stuff that required me to go and use the car and bring stuff back. And I just completely crushed our overdue task list that we share as a family, but I didn't touch painting. So, but good news is I got the garden all set up, except for a couple flowers that weren't in stock yet, because we had a really late winter. So a lot of the nurseries are a little slow. Not slow. I mean, you're at Mother Earth's, Mother Earth's what?
I'm looking for where you're going here.
Beck and call. Like she's in control. Mother Earth, she's in control. You can't like change how cold or how long winter lasts. So, the flowers are going to come when they come. So waiting for a couple more just to fill up a couple pots. But otherwise, everything's good outside except for the lawn. gonna wait a couple more weeks for that because it's still pretty cold outside during the night. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, a lot of seeds. Today's last day of school for spring break before the kids are off for 2 weeks. My wife's
So
coming home from
annoying.
Montreal today. So yeah, but it's funny every time I come back from taking the kids to school, and I come back in the morning, walking back, and I walk up to our house and I see the car on the drive. I'm like, oh, Erin decided to work from home today. That's great. And I'm like, oh no, wait, she's in Montreal. Then I get a little sad. So, but it's been good. That all ends today, and so it'll be a nice spring break. I mean, she doesn't get spring break. That's not her job, but it'll be nice to have her home and have the kids home. So yeah, busy week, crazy week, and didn't paint like I should. How about you?
Yeah, you know, it's fine. It was good. It was the best start to a week in the last month, so that's a plus. And what did we do? I think we went and saw some friends on the weekend for a birthday. So that was kind of nice. And then, yeah, you know what? It was a good week. There was a lot going on, but it was, I feel like I'm in a better headspace. So that's a plus.
Nice.
And trying to think what happened family wise. My wife's been sick all week, so she's been
Lucky lady.
Yeah, not doing great, but so I've been like arm's length away from me. I'm not getting sick.
Yeah. Did she get sick from me?
I bought this Vicks.
Never mind.
Vicks Early Defense.
Thanks for catching on.
It's called.
Okay. Honey flavored?
No, it's weird. It's a nasal spray. I don't remember where I saw it, but I went one day to Save On because I was like, well, I need to get her some stuff. So I went to Save On. Of course, there's not much to pick from, but I saw these Vicks Early Defense, and it's this nasal spray that it's supposed to, you like spray it up each side of each nostril, and then you got to leave it for like 10 to 15 minutes. And apparently it like gels and stuff and can catch infections before they get into your system. So then you blow them out like once it sits there for a little bit. So I was trying everything. I'm like, well, I'm not getting sick again. I don't know if she got what I had or if she got what the kids had. I'm not really sure like where it came from, but yeah. So I was on a mission to not get sick this week, and I feel like stuff happened this week though. Hold on.
Are you scrolling through your calendar just to be sure?
Yes. Man, it was just meetings. Oh, I met with an old friend actually. That was fun on Tuesday.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I went out with a guy that I knew him from high school, but he was my brother's age, so he's 2 years younger than us. But he got into the same industry that I'm in, and so I knew him like maybe 8 years ago or so. We worked together for a bit, and so him and I got together, which was a lot of fun catching up, especially because he knows a lot of the stuff that I'm going through right now. So we had I had a good chat with him, and it was just nice to catch up with somebody that I hadn't seen in a long time. And then
That's cool.
Played some Hogwarts. I finished the story.
Okay.
Yeah. And that game's really good.
Is it? That's good.
Are you kids liking it?
Yeah, they are. They're really enjoying it. They're still going through the tutorial stuff. They finished,
The tutorial's
like
like
spells, creating their wand.
Really long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the story, is it open world? Like, is there replayability?
Well, it's all open after, so you can still there's side quests, there's like completionist type stuff. Replayability, you could replay it as a different house, right? Because you can't change your house once you pick what house you choose to play in. The problem is your house actually doesn't have any bearing on the story, so nothing plays differently based on which house you're in. Besides, you get to see the house, right?
Besides the common room.
Yeah, you can't see the common room for any of the other ones, and some of the gear looks different, right? Like the stuff you can get looks different based on what house you're in. But I hope they do some DLC stuff, because I really did quite enjoy it, and I went full evil. It's
Nice.
oh yeah, just like,
Did they kill you at the end? Does good triumph?
no,
when
but
you
I did
turn
get
evil?
the bad ending. I did go the bad ending, because there's 2 or 3 endings. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be evil. Obs.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I'll
so-
ask you, just in case people are playing that are listening,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
ask you what the evil ending's like later.
Yep. But again, though, that like, it's really, really cool. But even the ending of the game has no bearing then on the end game. Like, it's kind of amusing to go the evil end game and then go to like celebrate in the house for like who won what's the cup thing called or whatever, like
the house cup.
Yeah, and to have everybody like cheering and talking about you, and you're like, do you have any idea what I just did? Like, but yeah, it's a really fun game. I enjoyed it, and then we played a lot of Age of Empires this week, which was a ton of fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I had a really good time playing that. I don't normally play too often into the evenings, but with Christina sick, I was like, she was going to bed at like 8-9 o'clock, so I'm like, yep, I'm going to play Age of Empires. So yeah, that was a good time. But overall, it was a good week. It was fun, and work still work. You and I got together, which was fun. We went out for lunch yesterday, so that was fun. Nice hanging out.
It was.
Mm-hmm. I actually was saying to Christina, it was fun to go out and talk like one-on-one, because it's, like when we catch up, typically it's here, and it's somewhat guarded, obviously, because there's some things we can't talk about. And then even on Mondays when we hang out, we're in a group, so there's still some things that don't come up. And so it was nice to chat.
Not intentionally, we're broadcasting, and it's a group setting.
It's a group, yeah, it's just different. So, yeah. Anyway, it was a good week, and I'm looking forward to this weekend. We're going curling.
That's really cool.
Yeah, we're going with all of our staff. I'm gonna go curling. So I've never done that before. So I feel like I'm probably great at it.
You look like someone who would be great at curling.
I get the sense that I could do it real well. I can yell. Like the whole like sweep and hard.
There's going to be some people from some countries listening that are like, you're going to curl your hair?
No, I'm going to curl a rock. It's a rock. I'm going to sweep.
Is it a Canadian sport? I know that we're really big into it, but I know it's quite international as well.
Well, it definitely is. It's in the
Olympics.
Olympics.
Have somebody that enjoys listening to the show that does audio for curling.
Yeah, I'll take a video of myself doing it, because I'm pretty sure I'm on par with what Andrew would be seeing in the events. Like, I'm pretty up there. I get a sense that I am. So I think that's going to be fun. I think most people have not gone before, so it should be even more fun. So, and we've got like teams that have been created, so it's going to be a good time. What are you looking at? Are you looking at like the origin of curling?
Yeah.
What is it?
Curling started in Scotland, but it came to Canada early in the 1800s, 1807.
Wait,
60 years before Canada was a country. First club was in Montreal, then it spread all over the country. Justin.
All right, here's the thing.
They continued to grow in size and popularity in the prairies, and in the times of the Great Depression and in the Second World War.
Here's the thing. Here's my question.
Thank you, Scotland.
Well, here's my question, that it's Scottish, that it started Scottish.
Okay.
I've watched people curl, and I know that Scottish, like, kilts is a thing. So were they just like dragging along the ice as they like do you know what I mean?
Stupid.
Well, I'm kind of curious, because they go pretty
sure
low.
It wasn't mandatory to wear a kilt every single second of the day.
Absolutely was. I think if you weren't wearing a kilt, people were like, you're not Scottish, get out of here, heathen.
Then I'm pretty sure they were fine doing whatever.
Did they have to tape
if you
it
got
up or
an
something?
Accidental flash.
Oh, but on ice? No,
Okay,
but I'm talking about the dragging
on
ice. That would be that's scary.
This is doing great here.
You got to be worried about
taping.
that.
Okay.
Because you'd have to have...
When was tape invented? After 1807. The history of adhesive tape occurred during the first appearance in 1845. Dr. Horace's day,
in Scotland,
a surgeon used a rubber adhesive applied to strips of fabric to make a new invention called surgical tape.
In Scotland?
Which is...
It has to have been in Scotland. It only makes sense. Where else would they have needed it at the time?
Tape invented? Right. I'm not going to look that up, but yeah, that's hilarious to think. No, it was invented for surgical tape. Was the first tape invented?
You know
and
why
it was
they needed it for surgical reasons? No. Because stuff was happening. Things were tearing.
38 years after curling came to Canada.
Oh, after.
Anyway.
Oh, but not after it was invented. After Canada.
Well, but 38 years is a long time to have something drag along ice.
Yeah, they needed it. They were like, we don't have Band-Aids,
maybe it was on lawns. Maybe the original curling was on lawns. And then it felt nice, tickled nice. That's not lawn bowling, it's lawn curling.
You can't curl
are you
on
getting
lawn.
You're going curling? Are you like getting all your staff? Do you have like small tutorials so that people know what's happening?
I don't know. I assume the curling place does that. There's like a curling club. They have like
we all know you didn't organize the event.
No, that's my wife.
You just approved it.
I'm just going. I was like, yes, let's do it. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, you know what? Life's good.
Now we know why tape was invented.
Or
there's
why
no
it should
reason
have
to
been.
listen to anything. Why it should have been.
Why it
That's
should
right.
have been.
Yeah, nothing like ripping tape off of that.
What was the year that you said it started in Scotland?
Which one?
Curling. Not the bleeding.
1807.
1807.
Did
Okay.
you say not the bleeding?
Not the bleeding.
Not the freeze burns?
Yeah, that would hurt.
All right.
Maybe they didn't go as low. Maybe they couldn't. Because
They're
now,
probably
if
just
you watch
good.
curling now, it's crazy. They like coast
Amazing.
right on the top of the ice.
Fancy shoes, just.
Yeah. and
Magic
if you
shoes.
imagine no pants, you're dragging.
It's a co-ed sport, buddy.
That's why the girls were probably way better. Way better. Because the guys are like they couldn't get
Guys
as
only
low
picked
down.
up the sport after the invention of tape.
Yeah, some idiot was like, I can do that. Goes to roll the first rock or whatever it's called. And he was out. He was out.
So this is inappropriate, like the rest of
Oh,
it.
boy.
But think about what it would like be after you've
What it would
touched
like
some of
be.
the rocks and you've tossed some of them and you feel the force of how hard they hit when they collide.
Mhm.
Imagine getting pinched in that.
Ew, why? Where'd you go that direction?
Once you go, well, this is your trail of thought, buddy.
That's not how they told people to aim, though. They were.
Dangling, get out of here. All right. So they had this week in PoE.
I'm just picturing it. I'm picturing some dude in a kilt standing where, you know how they like point where you're supposed to aim? Maybe they didn't have brooms back in the day, so he just squats over top of it. All right, let's move on.
Your organic
Path of Exile.
Okay,
Stuff.
so
Let's do Path
anyway,
of Exile.
Season 11 of Build of the Week is all finished up. Hi, Earl. Nice to see you. My cat's coming to say hello. Sorry if you can hear him. And so that's all finished up. And just in case you missed it all, they posted all the stuff into one post, so you wouldn't have to go searching for it, which I thought was nice.
Sweet.
Because that's one big issue I kind of have with the website. The searchability of stuff, once it's not on the first page, is actually quite difficult. Well, for me anyway, like when you're looking around and you're like, wait, how long ago was that? Was it 2 weeks? It was probably 2 years ago, but I'm like looking within 2 weeks and all that kind of stuff. So that was nice. But we both really enjoyed the season 10 bloopers that they did. Starring Eben. Oh my goodness.
So funny. You have to
Eben,
watch it.
you're
If you haven't
hilarious.
watched it, go watch the blooper video that they put out, because it resonates so much with me. I have experienced stuff like that. I have dealt with where people are struggling with certain words, and as it's being recorded, it's hilarious. And oh my gosh, his was so funny.
So good.
Yeah, and the
Eben,
D&D
your
check right at the
reactions are
beginning.
hilarious. Yes, I know,
I was like,
right?
it's Tyler.
D&D.
It's Tyler.
That's right. Hang on, I can't do a New Zealand accent for the life of me. I can't picture it at all, but then let me just fix this up here.
Oh my gosh,
man.
the words.
The fact that like Googling how to pronounce stuff, half that the blooper reel was just our podcast.
Oh, it was so
How we
funny.
work.
Yeah.
And Eben
so
was so good. And then whoever edited the video
editing
together and
was so
added
good
all
with
the with the images, the audio, the little clips. Oh man, it was.
I love
really
how they
funny.
ended it too. Nailed it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Exactly.
Yeah, definitely worth a watch. If you don't watch any of the other Build of the Weeks, don't. That's fine. But watch the bloopers, because it is so funny.
It was bloopers from last season. It's not this current season, but still, it was
I
so
don't know what it
funny.
was.
And then I love the one part where Eben says, Path of Exile is just not meant to be said out loud.
Yeah, that's right.
It's so true, because you get so mixed up and confused, and you want to say like I'm hitting the enemy or I'm attacking the enemy, but you say attack, but you mean it in the general term, but this means a specific thing. It was just pretty funny. So anyway,
I love too
really
that
good
he
job.
wrote it apparently, but yet he's going like, I didn't even think of how to say that. Like that, whatever that crazy beast is, Sikawala, whatever. Oh man, I love that he wrote it and then had to think afterwards, like, oh, I didn't even think about how to say, I was going to say that. I just thought that was so funny. And old rocks just wasn't happening.
That's right.
It wasn't happening.
Yep.
It was really good.
Lethe.
Definitely my favorite Path of Exile video I've watched in a long time. Even better than some of the League release stuff. It was my favorite.
Keep it up, GGG. They're great.
Yep.
And then GGG also gave us some new avatars for our. Is my cat bothering you?
Well, I don't know how it's not bothering you. It's just sitting
pretty close to
right
the mic.
on Tyler, like right in front of him. It's between him and the mic.
Well, my mouth is still close to the mic. I just hope you can't hear the purrs. Anyway, new avatars for our profiles on the Path of Exile website, which is awesome. Two of the ladies looked awesome. They had the
Is it going to hit like a button to stop your recording?
No. I'm just trying to get my cord out of the way so that it can cuddle. My cat can cuddle, and then it's just can knead and stay and see. Look, good. Now all you can see is no, that bonked my face. Hi. So no, anyway, I really like there was some pretty cool looking avatars, both related to Sin, by the way. Sin's sister and Sin's love interest were the two coolest looking ones that I liked.
Wait, who's his sister and who's his love interest? Are they story? Is that story related?
Sister's a scorpion, I think. If I remember, you know the scorpion boss that we hate with all the sand?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure that's sister. I think so.
Oh.
And then the love interest was, when there's that one point, do you know that quest where you can turn it into Lonnie or in Act 8 or 9?
Oh, you can it's not Lonnie. You can turn it into the Rishi or the something else. It's like, or something, not Rishi, but
who's the one that does the div cards during the quests? He's in. Yeah,
he's the little dude sitting. I can't think of it either.
No, I'm bringing it up. I can't not remember two names.
Well, you just did.
Well, I'm gonna fix it.
We'll see.
In the Ruler of Highgate, you talk to Irasha or Tasuni. Tasuni. I'd never remember Irasha, but Tasuni, right?
Yeah.
And there's no difference to that, is there? Which is too bad. I was hoping the very first time the Ruler of Highgate showed up and we were going through 3.0 for the first time. There's that massive water bottle again. I was hoping like there'd be a change to the town or something. Remember in
that's got to be a PoE 2 thing because they've said that it's supposed to
I really
change.
Hope so, yeah. And
I do know what you mean.
That. So I was really excited about that. The fact that it doesn't is irrelevant. It's just neat. It doesn't change much because even when it happens in PoE 2, after the novelty of it all, you're not gonna like do it for the change.
Well, it's Act 4, right?
No,
or Act 3,
Act 9.
Oh, it's the last one. See, it's too bad it wasn't in that early one, and that whatever, because I think you're picking who's going to lead the city or something, and then it would have been cool in the part where you come back later if that somehow affected it. But
that's right.
Anyway,
so then there's the one lady that you save in or fail to save in Act 9 that was Sin's love interest.
Huh. Interesting. How do you know that?
The one with all the storms, like the spinny stuff. Oh, I hate that fight. He says something about like my love, and he does his little wand thing.
Oh.
And then when you kill the scorpion spider, he's like, I don't know, sister, maybe. I don't know.
Wow,
I'm getting all mixed up, but that's I know.
So good job getting the first post on the Avatar forum post.
Did I?
Yep.
Well, do you see what I said though?
You clearly didn't know the names then either.
No, but somebody responded to me and said, Shikari and Garu-Khan, aka Sin's daughter and spouse. So not sister.
Oh, daughter. Oh, we killed his daughter?
Yeah.
So you get Sin.
MTX, Fluttering Eye, Winter Effect. Oh, patch notes came out, both for console and PC. So we're at 20.2b, and 2 bug fixes were in there too. So that was mostly just to bring in like all the new events that they're doing. But they had some bug fixes associated to it. 2 of them stood out to me. One of them was a rare bug where some players were unable to convert their... Okay, I'm getting Eben's little channel here. Fixed a rare bug where some players were unable to convert their map stash tabs to the current map series due to hidden maps within an invalid tier. That's happening to me on console. And so I'm excited to make sure that that's there. Actually, it did fix it, so that's good. But anyway, so that was nice. And then fixed a bug that prevented the Alpine hideout from being Alpine or Alpine?
Alpine.
So why is the French racing team called Alpine? Or is that just the way the commentators say it?
Because they're French. Gotta be difficult.
So what did we say? Alpine?
Alpine, yeah.
Fixed a bug that prevented the Alpine hideout from being fully cleared when discovered in the summit map. Imagine that. Hey, imagine like you're actually going for those rare hideouts. You have all those. Yeah, and then it doesn't even work. Man, that would suck. Now, what's it called? When I copy and pasted that into this sheet, Grammarly corrected the copy and paste from GGG. It said, what did it say? Instead of saying, GGG said which prevented, but Grammarly said that prevented. I like which prevented better.
Yes. in this scenario, which makes more sense.
Grammarly
Unless it was spelled
stupid.
WITCH, then it doesn't.
But then it would be wicked because it'd be Path of Exile. Are you adding crickets to that? Because there definitely would have been a nice gap there. You should. You could go for it.
Probably
anyway,
won't.
And then the first event is now available. Ruthless with Gold is live.
This is the main event that'll run through the whole thing.
Yes. Did you
Are you
do
gonna
it?
try it?
No, I'm not going to.
No. I am curious to see the whole like idea of gold, but I don't think I will. It doesn't. There's not enough of it that draws me. Like the idea of gold isn't enough to draw me into to try it out. I unfortunately probably won't try any of the special events. This one, they don't. The Crangled event just seems fun, but I feel like it would also get a little bit frustrating. I'm not into that sort of challenge.
If you have an hour or two a day, like you're gonna play for 10 minutes until you get like, oh, here's my first couple notables that completely don't make sense. Okay, I'm going to ascend. Oh my goodness. All right, and that's enough of that. I'll be playing Path of Exile this week. I actually didn't play Path of Exile this week at all, but that was just because I was going crazy with the car. But I'll be playing PoE lots this week. That's my goal, but it's going to be standard.
Mm-hmm. You won't even try them, eh?
No. I have my own goals to achieve, Justin. I'm one of those players that I don't achieve my to live. No, I'm still leveling my Elementalist Reaper. Mm-hmm. I'm level 83 or 4, which is good. It's actually leveling quite quickly. It's very solid. I can do, when I was at level 76, 77, 78, I was doing T14s, 15s, and 16s. And outside of a few quirky combinations of mods from my Atlas passive tree, it was super easy. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm 83, 2, 4, something like that. And so yeah, I just want to level that up, get to 91, 92, and get the gems to 2020.
I'm curious what people play in this Ruthless Gold one think of it. Like, I'm curious what people think of the gold tied into Ruthless. Does it actually make it a little bit easier than just playing straight up Ruthless? Is there, does the gold feel worthwhile? I'm kind of curious how people have responded to it. So
I've heard some people already that have played on our Discord. I don't know if the comments came after like 2 seconds of gameplay or not, but with the automatic gold pickup, I've heard people saying that they like it. I've heard people say they'd like that radius to be bigger, but all in all, pretty neat. I actually have some stuff about that. I don't know if you want to talk about that now or later, but
you do whatever you want, buddy. I'm just following your lead.
All right. Well, you didn't play PoE at all this week, though, yeah?
No, I did not. Yourself?
No. We did all my PoE time went into either the tasks that I had that stuff from the car or playing Age of Empires. So worked out well. But I am excited to play this week. It just didn't work out this week. But I do have some questions for you.
I was just going to add cue the didn't play Path of Exile. You can't talk about Path of Exile.
Well, can you have a podcast and not play Path of Exile for a week?
It's so good.
Actually, you know what I'm going to title this podcast, this episode?
What's that?
Giving people what they want.
Well, what is it? Clearly the history of curling.
Clearly. Well, I want to ask you about the Diablo 4 beta. All right. Okay. And then we're going to give the people what they want. And I'm going to ask Justin, at that point, once we finish talking about Diablo, can you set your system up so that you don't take out silences for the last bit of the episode?
Probably not.
Dang, because
I could, but I'm not going to. It's a lot more work. Why?
Oh, because the amount of silences would be hilarious. Anyway, I'll get to it.
We'll
so
see how it goes.
Diablo 4 is coming out in June or July, whatever, one of the J's in the summertime, our summer. And their beta is going on for 3 weeks. Their live public beta
right now?
Starting March 17th.
Oh, okay.
So just around the river bend. What is that, next week? What day is today? 10th? Yeah,
today.
So next Friday it'll be starting. And that's kind of cool. I'm curious how much GGG knows about Diablo 4 already. I mean, Diablo's always been very good at marketing. Very, very good. I haven't been interested in the game in forever. And still, when I see their videos, I'm like, wow, looks pretty cool.
Videos
It'll
are
be
amazing.
exciting. Yeah, they
Always
are. But they do a good job with it. And then now it's public. So I'm curious, like, how much people in the industry know about the game, or if they're fully dependent on the same type of feeds that we have. You know what I mean? Maybe there's friendly communication between people within companies. I don't know how it works. I doubt that they would know much more outside of that. There's a lot of NDAs.
The same as what we see.
But so now I'm curious, like, okay, so now there's finally a public beta. How many GGG employees are told to go play the game, or just going to go play the game for fun? Bring back some ideas, see what's new, see what's not, see like, oh crap, they copied this from us, or oh shoot, we're coming out with the game second. That was our idea. It's totally original, but now it's going to look like we're copying because they did this. And yeah, I don't know. I'm curious how influential just that 3-day beta is going to be.
It's only 3 days. I thought you said 3 weeks. Wow.
No. I think it's 3 days.
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't really care how long it is, but I'm just curious because now it's available to the public. I'm curious. Or whatever, closed beta, whatever. People that have applied, not this, that, all of the other. I'm just curious how that's going to impact the knowledge that GGG can get from that. If anything's going to change, if it's going to encourage them, because I think I've especially mentioned it the last little bit, how amazed I am with GGG's creativity within this game that we currently have, which according to them, it handcuffs them so much that they're making a completely separate game, Path of Exile 2. So the fact that they can still be so creative with stuff that doesn't even cross my mind, not like I'm the epitome of creation, but it's still like, or creativity, I should say. But because I'm so impressed with how creative they can be with so many different things, the fact that I'm just really excited to see what PoE 2 is going to have in terms of making PoE 1, PoE 2 the better PoE 1. So I don't know, the influence of Diablo 4 and the ideas that it could bring to them, but also what did Diablo 4 steal from them, or just the influence that it has. Curious. I wonder if anybody's been told to play it.
I wouldn't imagine anybody's been told to. I imagine there certainly are people who are going to play it because absolutely will. You have to remember Path of Exile is built on the idea of Diablo too. So the fact that they compete in a genre doesn't change the fact that the genre was defined by Diablo. And so,
yes, it was
the people who are working on and playing Path of Exile, that history comes from Diablo. So, like even for myself, I loved Diablo 1 and 2. Diablo 3 wasn't my favorite, but I played it. It'll be the same for Diablo 4. I'll certainly play it. I actually really like Diablo. It's just, it tends to be a much simpler game.
It is. It gets boring very quickly.
Yeah, but it's enjoyable. I like that. It's fun for a little bit. There's no way I could play Diablo as long and as much as I play Path of Exile, because seasons in Diablo didn't change much.
It was just motivational ladder resets.
There was just new things. Yeah, that's right. Sometimes they brought in new uniques and like new items and stuff, which was fun. But yeah, I will certainly be playing Diablo when it comes out to try it out, just because there's a nostalgia to it for me. I love the sound of the game. I love the music of the game. And it's just Diablo, so
yeah. I only started Diablo 3, and that was more of an action game than an RPG. Having predetermined skills,
you would have loved to. Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, I'm curious. Diablo 4 is coming out, and beta influence GGG. It's nice. I'm excited. I think it's really cool that Diablo 4 is coming out ahead of time, because considering they still seem to be going with the simplicity of character creation from what I've gathered from all the interviews that I've read, Blizzard and Diablo.
Yep. They're not a Path of Exile style game.
No, but doesn't seem like they're interested at all in going back to the Diablo 2 style genre. I think it seems to me, and I don't know any better, but it seems to me like they like the simplicity and inclusiveness of Diablo 3. And they're going open world as well. And they're going to have dungeons and different
interesting
landmarks that you can go to. So it's going to be very interesting, because Path of Exile, in my, again, uncreative perspective, I don't think Path of Exile could ever go open world because of how things are randomly generated. It's sections that are randomly generated, and then maps with map modifiers. I mean, as open world as you can get in Path of Exile, that's Delve. That's in a way open world, and then I forget what they're called, regions, neighborhoods, biomes. All of a sudden those mods randomly change, and for me, I hate it when mods randomly change. You know what I mean? So as long as GGG stays on that, I think they're staying within structured environments. Yes, random, and hopefully it gets more and more random, which I think is great. But I like that structured consistency with Path of Exile. So it's like, I don't know, it's like they're getting, sure, it's still the same player bases that'll play those games for the most part. There's going to be portions of each group that aren't interested in the opposing game. So I guess they'll always be competitors, but it seems like they're getting really far apart. You want a simple ARPG experience, you go to Diablo. You want to think about it a lot more, you come to Path of Exile.
I think there's a big difference though too with Diablo 4. You're paying for the game, and to make a game that I'm paying for to play as complex as Path of Exile, I think you could cause a lot of trouble, because you need it to be simple. If people are going to pay $70-$80 to play it, it needs to be accessible to everybody who's going to pick it up and play it, not something that requires me to use third-party stuff to figure out how to play a build and use third-party apps to figure out. I'm not saying that. You and I have talked about the fact that we don't really like that Path of Exile does that, but it is a fact. But it's also a free game, so if you pick it up and don't like it, it's no big deal. But if you paid $80 and you found out that it was that complex and that difficult to actually just play a build, I think there's a bit of a problem there. So I think for them to be more accessible, especially given that you have to pay to play the game, I think that makes sense. I'm really glad that I haven't read anything about a real money auction house, because I think that was one of the silliest things they did with Diablo 3.
You made your money back nice and quick.
I did, but I still thought it was stupid. Like, I did make money off of it, but it was still dumb. You know, like, if I was actually heavy into Diablo 3, I would have just spent money, and that's not really a fun way to play the game. But I know I would have done it because it would have saved me time. So, but Diablo 4, I'm actually excited for it. I don't think it's going to be something that's like some big competitor to Path of Exile, because they're so different. It's just something that exists alongside it, like Last Epoch. Like, it's something else to play when the leagues are slow or the leagues are winding down. That's what Diablo 4 will be to me.
Be interesting. I'm not going to spend any money on Blizzard. Diablo doesn't interest me, so I'm going to just rely on you seeing some of your gameplay. Maybe you can broadcast a bit after you buy it, and
it comes out, you said, in June or July,
something like that. Here, let's check. That one's worth clicking a bit. When does Diablo 4 come out? No,
June 6th.
Google. Yeah, thank you. Google says March 17th, because it doesn't know the
initial
difference
release is
between
March 17th, so I'm assuming that's the beta. 4 days. Wait, what? The Diablo
it's early access beta, so you had to pre-order Diablo.
Oh, yeah, I won't be doing that.
Starfield came out with a release date.
Oh, yeah?
September.
Oh, if you pre-order the ultimate or the digital deluxe version, you can start on June 2nd instead of June 6th. I don't like when companies do that.
No,
I really don't.
Especially, like, imagine if they did it like a trade market, like Path of Exile. Look, think of the advantage that some of these players will get as they go through and start going.
So they're doing two betas. They're doing one 17th to 19th and 24th to 26th. But the first weekend is only available to those who pre-purchased.
Cool.
Interesting. Cool.
Very, very cool. I actually think that it should be different, because the first beta is going to be loaded with crap, and it's a lot more work. It's a lot more feedback. It's a lot more bugs and issues.
Yeah,
and
but you get less people
design
on it. So if there is problems, then it's a little bit easier for them to maybe figure it out. I have not watched a single trailer for Diablo 4.
It's all cinematic. There's outside of gameplay, their gameplay trailer was like a year ago.
I'll have to watch those later.
Oh no, it was a long time ago, because I remember Path of Exile at ExileCon referencing Diablo's trailer.
The gameplay trailer came out 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. I remember Chris CW saying something about like, or maybe Path of Exile came out with it first because they were doing like animal changes, like changing your character into an animal, and then Diablo, and then Diablo was going to do the same thing. Forget which one came out. Anyway, Path of Exile rocks, so who cares what Diablo does? All right, now, this is going to be an epic segment, Justin. This is called Giving the People What They Want. So you and I were laughing. We went to White Spot and had an awesome lunch the other day, and thanks for making time for that, by the way, in your busy schedule. It was really nice to hang out.
It was nice.
And we were laughing a little bit about the difference of people that like us and don't like. To us, I think it's awesome to have a lot of Path of Exile podcasts. Not like us having quantity, but like just having lots out there. When you're in love with a subject or a brand, you just want there to be a lot of content out there. And so there's a lot of people that listen to many different podcasts regarding Path of Exile, and I think the more the better. there's a lot of people that come to us wanting Path of Exile content, and we bore their socks off for the first 15 or 20 minutes because we're not talking about Path of Exile.
Yeah, I'm good. I just see a phone call, but I'm going to ignore it. Go ahead.
And, so there's people that absolutely love that about our podcast. They love the, normal life aspect and integrating that into our love of Path of Exile. Then there's people out there that they just don't care. They just want to hear Path of Exile, Path of Exile, Path of Exile. So some of the criticisms and legit criticisms that we get, of course, are, like cutting out, that part of the podcast, right? The real life aspect, just talk about the game.
Never. What are we going to have, a 10-minute podcast? Get out of here.
Well, see, that's the thing. So we were joking around about what other people talk about in their Path of Exile only podcasts. Oh. And good for them for being able to do it. You don't remember that?
No, I don't.
That was like 8 drinks in probably, so don't worry.
It could have been.
And so anyway, Justin, this segment is called Giving the People.
Oh, this isn't going to be good.
This is so we're not going to talk about.
I remember one part of this conversation that we had, which was regarding uniques. That's the only part I remember.
So we're trying right now this is why I want you to get rid of silences, or not get rid of silences. I want you to keep them, because
I'll try to remember.
What do people talk about when they only talk about Path of Exile, when they're not like just throwing it in every now and then?
Remove silences.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. I hope you can. So, Justin, we're only going to talk about cool things about Path of Exile. Like a cool.
Is this how other podcasts do it? We're just going to talk about
a little bit more structured
things
ahead of time. They know what uniques they want to talk about because of what's hot and what's not. So, Justin, there's like probably a unique that you really like, that you like to integrate mechanics with.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to talk about it?
Well, if we're talking uniques, the tabula is it's kind of the, whatever you want to call it.
I have a problem with tabulas. Okay.
If you talk to me honestly about like uniques, and you're like, well, what are uniques? Blah, blah, blah. I'm literally just in my head thinking of the ones that make leveling better. I'm not thinking of the end game.
That's the only
I'm not thinking of like what's going to define my build. I'm going like, what gets me to there faster.
Okay. See, I think the only time you and I could actually talk about uniques, if it wasn't something that we were just currently using for our build, would be like, hey man, remember when LaHoop only went to plus and negative 20?
Dude, LaHoop is still a great leveling one. It's like Thief's Torment. Give it to me. I'll take it. Let me level faster.
As long as it's not negatives. But now it's negative 30 and plus 30. So that's a thing.
It's still fine.
Okay. So just, like how it's neat to go into 4-digit depths in Delve.
That doesn't happen anymore. I thought they changed
how there's that kind of
this is going great. Delves don't go into the thousands now, or it's like crazy hard to get up there. I thought they made it like much more slower, and you like 600 tends to peter out.
No, but you see, if you use this unique and this ascendancy and this class and this node, and you couple it with MOM, and then you do something with, some sort of 6-socket thingy thing, then obviously it's easy.
I don't get it. Why?
Yeah, you just have to manipulate the cooldown of that skill and you're fine.
Why do you want to go that deep into Delph? I don't get it.
Whoa. Easy. You're like the king of trying to take out innuendos out of nowhere. But yeah, I don't care either. So, okay, let's try to move on to something else. What else do people want to hear?
Did you make notes for this?
No, I didn't. Okay. I don't know what people want. See, that's the thing. Justin and I don't listen to other podcasts. Not because we're not like interested in them. It's just that's not what we do.
All right, I got one for you. Here's what people want. Zombies are stupid. They're not end game. Why do you keep playing them?
That's not what people want. That's what I want. Because it would suck. I don't know. I like them. That's it.
It's not a good enough reason. This is Path of Exile. It's all about... No, it's not. I'm telling you right now. The people want to know. It's a min-maxing game. Zombies are garbage. They can't do the content. Why not do, what would people say?
The Reaper? I am.
No.
I'm converted. You're a league late on that criticism. This whole league has been about converting to the Reaper.
But you're still using zombies.
I go back to it for nostalgia and then I die. So then I go back to the Reaper and I don't die. The problem with zombies, see, people don't care about zombies. People don't want to know about zombies.
They want to know why you won't give it up when they suck and they're awful and you bitch about them.
I wish. See, the problem with zombies is that they require so much investment, but now there's too many WTF moments in games like enemy dots, for example, corrupted blood or cold dots on the ground like the vortexes. Those completely annihilate zombies that have 83 resists, like 83 elemental resists. And I've already decided to invest in minion survivability instead of my own. So now I'm more vulnerable and they're not going to live. So that's why
why don't you use uniques? Why won't you use uniques?
How do you use uniques?
No, you won't plan around them. Why not?
I love Montgrul's Grasp. Montgrul's
Okay, how
Grasp.
about good uniques? How come you won't use good
That's
uniques?
a great unique. I used the Saffles frame in the league, this league. So I had 79 and 80 elemental resistance. So then I
But
bumped
you won't
myself up
plan
another
around
4.
them.
No.
You could use some uniques that would
That's the
strengthen
same
your
reason
build
that I
quite a
don't
bit.
like Ruthless the way it's currently designed.
Because
I like items to be rare, rarely show up. You're excited to use them. You hang on to them. I like the theory crafting to be about the gems and the tree, but I want the items to be completely, oh, sweet, that finally dropped.
Wait, why do you not like Ruthless then? Because that is Ruthless. It's more strict. Yes, compared to the normal game, it absolutely is.
Ruthless still has too many items that drop.
But it has less.
It is less. It's a step in the right direction. It's still stupid because of the base of how they do their itemization. It's still garbage and it's still too much. And then the gems, how gems work in Ruthless takes out so much theory crafting because of how they do theory, or because of how they do gems in Ruthless. It turns it more into a survival game as opposed to a let's see how this build that I want to do works out. You're not guaranteed to be able to do the build you want to because supports aren't guaranteed. Unless you have 1 million hours in a week to get these supports that you're not going to use, vendor them, hope you get the one you want, blah, 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 blah. So to me, Ruthless is more of a survival thing because of how they do gems. What I would love is the gems to become available, right? You can buy them for whatever and have them stupid expensive for all I care, but actually have them available. And then have items even more scarce than they are in Ruthless. That would be a dream PoE. But that has nothing to do with zombies, and also people don't want anything to do with zombies. So let's stay on topic. What else do people want? Well, you know that boss that I've obviously farmed 100 times? It isn't worth it.
There's no boss worth farming.
Great. Awesome. So let's do something else now. So we were talking a bit about PoE 2 and Diablo, Path of Exile 1. What do you think you can add cutting silences back in now?
Yeah, because that was a long one there.
I can also hear the kids screaming in the background too, which is awesome.
Yeah, you won't hear them in the recording.
What's your perfect PoE 2?
What?
Well, what? Obviously, Path of Exile 2 is going to be better than Path of Exile 1, but what would make Path of Exile 2 just so much better than Path of Exile 1 for you? Like, what are some of the things that they could do to improve?
So are you meaning in comparison to PoE? Like one?
Probably in comparison to PoE 1. I mean, we know that there's already going to be some cool features like how linking works and that kind of stuff. So you can include that if you want. But what's something that's you would love to see? I don't know. I guess you can go in like, what are some of the things that drive you nuts in PoE 1? We obviously love PoE 1, but what are some things that you would love to either disappear or change to PoE 2, so that it's like no matter the cool features PoE 2 has, as long as it has this, it's going to be amazing.
Well, the one thing I wanted to have, I know it's not going to have, but it's going to be fine for the first little bit, which is the level in experience. The getting through the axe experience. I think it's going to be fun in the beginning because it's new and it's fresh and we haven't done it before. But I think they're going to still fuck it up in the sense of it being still like Path of Exile 1, and I'm still going to be forced to do this annoying grind to get to maps. It doesn't seem like there's ever going to be a direction for them to give you the option to bypass that in a league, and I don't like that. But I'm excited to at least play it because I think it'll be new, it'll be fresh, it'll be fun. It'll be really interesting to see if they can do what Chris says they're going to do in the sense of, it changes and it's different each time you do it. Maybe we'll see. I guess I'm not sure that that's enough to make it enjoyable every single time, but it will be enjoyable for the first bit, right? Because it's brand new. But more than anything, I'm just excited to play new classes, to play new ascendancies. I think that's the thing I'm most excited for. I think it'll be nice because we've had the same classes and ascendancies, barring some changes for 12 years or whatever it is. It's, there have obviously been some additions, some changes, but they're the same classes and ascendancies. So I think that'll be fun. I am also kind of curious, even though this actually doesn't matter, but I'm really curious to see how they play Path of Exile 1 alongside Path of Exile 2. And if Path of Exile 1 still maintains people going that route. I feel like you'd have to have really failed on the Path of Exile 2 side if people really want the class and the ascendancy still from Path of Exile 1 versus the new stuff in PoE 2.
Well, I think that one's going to be, you have to wait a long time for that data to be legit because everybody's going to play Path of Exile. When you have both campaigns side by side, you're going to have everybody playing Path of Exile 2. They want the new experience. Right. They want to see the new ascendancies. So you got to give that the honeymoon phase of Path of Exile 2's release. That's got to expire before you can see the true data of the value of the old ascendancies versus the new ones, right?
Not totally. And I'll tell you why. If you get a league in and the second league that comes out, you see a huge jump over to PoE 1. I'm just saying that's
sure,
a problem.
I guess, yeah, that would be worst case scenario. If it's one league in and all of a sudden your numbers are still split, the honeymoon phase is done that early, sure. But it also depends on retention. If the very first oh my goodness, if the very first league of Path of Exile 2 has insane retention, which I'm sure it will compared to previous, it's just going to be a whole new set of data for them, not really comparable to anything. But if it has such crazy retention that people not necessarily burned out of the game, but burned out of their PoE 2 options, which I highly doubt because it's Path of Exile, there's so many options, then I could see that sway going over. But you had a comment in there about, I think my guess is that Path of Exile 1 is going to be played exactly like Path of Exile 2. They'll redo the engine, the monsters, the enemy density, all that kind of stuff. I think they'll still have, the same kind of enemies and the same bosses, but I think it'll be the same experience just with those quests in those maps. I think it'll be a completely new, I don't see them being able to have or wanting to have the old method of Path of Exile compared to the new method of Path of, like, you don't want the same, you want them to be the same enjoyment and technology and variation.
But isn't the class and ascendancy specific to which version of Path of Exile you play?
Last time they mentioned it to us, I believe they said, yes, if you want to be any of these 19 classes, you're playing the PoE 1 campaign. If you want to be
that would be the reason someone chooses to play Path of Exile 1 is because they prefer the class or ascendancy, not the style or the axe or anything, because nobody likes that.
I think that'll end up being the same, like the PoE 2 engines going in Path of Exile 1. If they're changing how monsters, like how much health they have and how fast they are and enemy density and all that kind of stuff, I think that'll apply to Path of Exile 1's campaign as well.
Sure. I'm not, maybe. I don't know that has much of an effect though on which, like, I think I'm expecting Path of Exile 2 to be a very big deal. I would imagine they have pretty good numbers for it. And I would expect as well the retention's going to be good. And my also hope is just that it does amazing and that it comes out super strong and people are loving it. I'm just curious to see in 2 or 3 leagues down the road, how many necromancers do you see? How many of the old classes in Ascendancy are you still seeing come through the into maps? compared to the how many Ascendancies are coming out with Path of Exile 2?
Well, originally they were talking about having everything equal, so they want the not necessarily the same amount of acts.
I thought there were more Ascendancies.
Well, they said there's going to be like 19. They said there's going to be, you know, like so there's 19 same? Currently. There's going to be another 19. So, you know, there's going to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wait, it's 6, 3, 1, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 18, 19. So yeah, there's going to be the 38. Yeah. But that's what they were saying. And they were saying like things are going to be equal as well, you know, in terms of the amount of free skill points and regret points you get throughout the campaign. They said the campaign length is going to be the same, not necessarily the same amount of acts, but the same. I think if I remember correctly, I don't know where I'm getting this information from, so it could be wrong, but I think from what I remember, CW saying or someone saying it was going to be like 7 acts, but it's going to be the
6
same.
For some reason sticks out to me.
But the same duration as the 10-act version of PoE 1. But so that's it. Like, there's nothing, like no changes you'd like for like. For one thing, the reason that I started thinking about this was because now this Ruthless event is coming out with auto pickup gold, and they had the Aurelius coins in the current league that we have, whatever it's called, Forbidden Sanctum, more auto pickup stuff. And now they're adding something else with a different type of auto pickup or a more improved auto pickup. And, you know, people are always thinking like I'm one of those people, not everybody, but there's a lot of people that think like all the leagues that we've been doing for the last whoever knows how long since the PoE 2 reveal has been testing content like Arch Nemesis or this, that, and another thing for Path of Exile 2, seeing how people react to it, but also seeing how it works within their game and coincides with what they want to do. You know, are there things like maybe auto picking up or auto stashing?
I don't care about auto pickup. I want a radius pickup though. Make me click the for number one, get rid of the scrolls. I don't want any scrolls. I think it's silly. But I want a range pickup. If there's 4 transmutes on the ground and I picked up 1, guess what? I want the other 3. Don't make me, if they're within a close enough range, don't make me click each of them.
What about either together with or instead of having, if within a radius 6 transmutes drop, they all just go into the same clump?
Sure. The struggle with that though is if the mobs don't die at the same time, and a mob dies on the left side and drops a transmute, and then the mob dies on the right side and drops a transmute, I don't want them to all of a sudden suck up together, because what happens if I started to move towards the one on the left to pick it up and now it sucks up to the one on the right? Now I got to go. I don't like that.
Sure.
I would rather just have it that if I click one, it picks them all up. I mean, just something to make it a bit easier on the clicking side. I'm not sure that will happen because people have complained about that forever. So, but I would like to see that. And I guess I don't actually mind so much the portal scrolls. I don't want wisdom scrolls. Or give me if you're going to make me pick them up, then make an identify all button or something. I'm not sure, but some of it just gets a bit boring. I'd love to see, well, actually it won't matter so much because you don't have to do the sock, like you don't have to do linking anymore. So I'm trying to think if you'd have to ever spam currency.
Well, I don't think things are auto
max socketed.
I think you still have to use jewelers. Like they're auto linked, but you still have to use your jewelers to get the maximum socket. So
yeah, maybe if you're going to make something where there's crazy clicking, I would rather see something that lets me automate that. Like, if I'm trying to 6 socket a chest when I get later into the league, I'm just like, oh my God, I'll just pay the 600 jewelers and do it at the crafting station. But I would rather actually do it myself because it feels better. But it hurts my hand to be shift clicking like that. So
yeah, it'd be nice to have something like, do you want to go until it expires? What's the maximum you want to use?
Or let me pick. Let me pick some options. I don't know how they would do that, but I think more quality of life stuff is the stuff I'm looking forward to than the other stuff. Like the game itself, the end game, the new skill, all that kind of stuff I'm excited for. But I was going to be excited for that no matter what. Like that's just whatever they do, I'm going to be happy with that. I would like to just see some quality of life stuff.
Sure. Yeah, me too. So. I'm the same way. I'm excited for everything that they're coming out with. I can't wait to see the new, I'm going to be super excited to use spears or javelins, whatever they had. I've always loved that kind of baton play style, Donatello, right? For me though, like that's some of the big stuff. Like for me, specters and animate guardian having their own UI, enemies because specters are a thing, enemies having a database in the game, and you can actually see their different attacks or skills that they have and the damage types they do and their mitigation and their life and that kind of stuff. Maybe where you can find them once you've unlocked them or once you've encountered them, that kind of thing. Something where skills like, I don't know, this has come up for me recently because of the Reaper, but having tags that make sense for certain aspects, like I've mentioned many times, zombies having a spell tag, but spell damage doesn't apply to them. That. So having tags that are separated into categories so that it makes sense visually in the game. You don't have to have 3 years of experience to know what tags apply to what aspect of the skill. And then, if like a minion like the Reaper has multiple skills that the user has accessibility to what those tags are, that kind of stuff. Like, I know that's a lot of data, and people in Path of Exile 1 land are like, but that's the kind of stuff that you really hope that Path of Exile 2 just encompasses, and it's a normal expected thing right off the bat. Those are the things that for me, if they're not in the game, I would be disappointed with, no matter the new features that they have.
If beta comes out for PoE 2 and it's open beta, will you play it?
100%. Path of Exile, from that moment on, Path of Exile 1's dead to me. Like, I'll still play, like, I know the beta will end and I'll go. I know, but as long as I can play PoE 2, even if it's in like the first alpha stage, I'm not touching Path of Exile 1. I want to be a part of it. I want to experience it. And goodness me, if I have the opportunity for feedback.
Oh, those poor people.
I'm
Disable it.
Enhance. Enhance. So yeah, no, it would be amazing. I'm curious though. I doubt you'd probably have to buy some sort of supporter pack though for it. I see Path of Exile. It'd be awesome to have an open beta.
The beta's going to be open.
You think so?
It's going to be yeah.
Did they say so, or are you just assuming?
I'm heavily assuming. I don't doubt that there's probably some sort of closed beta either happening already or will be happening. I don't know how they would do that, but I would bet anything they do some sort of short form open beta closer to release. That's
my assumption is going to be what people are going to be rushing home for after ExileCon.
No, it's PoE 2.
Right. So they're going to get to ExileCon after playing the beta.
No, that's the open beta.
GGG's going to
ExileCon.
At ExileCon, all right.
Yeah.
That's
you get to play the open beta for no, it's open. Anyone can play it, and it'll be for those 2 days. But guess what? We're coming out in 3 days, so you better fly your ass home right now.
That's right. I hope you saw Hobbiton beforehand. We warned you. Okay, cool.
All right. Well, that's good. I think we're going to wrap this up, though, yeah?
What do you think, though? Do you think we gave the doubters and the haters, the people we disappoint, do you think we gave them what they wanted? You think they got a good conversation bit there about, uniques?
I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
179, Forever Exiled. I'm Justin, AK Tags.
Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
Let's see here. Patrons, you're the best. We'll catch you in After Dark. Everybody else, will see you next week in 180. God, who would have thought? If you're looking for more information, you find down below. Got a website, foreverexiled.com. We're on Twitter, foreverexiled82. We have a very fun Discord you should be a part of. Patreon and other ways to support the podcast down below. Bye-bye.
Oh, that was a stretch of a lifetime. Oh, my goodness.